All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Some Dummy Online. I try to use my name to disarm people that I'm talking to and try to encourage myself to be a little bit more open to the idea of asking stupid questions and not being afraid to being viewed as stupid. I'm new to Twitch streaming and I don't really know what I'm doing quite yet, but my goal is to talk to people and to give them an opportunity to be heard. Today I have a guest with me. I'm going to be asking you a series of questions, but I am trying a new interview style to try to understand where you're coming from and what you're doing and how you do things. So during the course of that, I'm going to ask you a lot of probably relatively stupid sounding questions, but I do promise that I don't mean to offend you or to be rude at any point. I am just trying to get a clear understanding from you about where you're coming from, what you're doing, how you're doing it, and really what motivates you and what puts you on the course that you're going through. So let's start there. Can I ask who are you and where are you coming from?
Oh, hi, dummy. My name is Fox, or some people call me Glarend in some circles for my Twitter handle. But I am one of the hosts for Vulpes Den, a Twitch stream channel on, of course, Twitch, as well as Trovo, a other streaming platform.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to get links into my chat over to your Twitch channel. That way I can share you with them. Let me get that real quick. But you say that there's another host that works with you?
Uh, yes, my wife and partner, Miss Amu or Moo. Some people know her as Article on Twitter. She's an NSFW artist, so do be aware of that
Oh,
whenever you do link anything. But she is the love of my life.
so she does art and then you do.
Well, I have my profession. I work in a factory, but I also obviously stream here on Twitch. Um, and I thoroughly enjoy streaming more than actually physically working.
I understand that sentiment. So you have your Twitch channel. You say you both stream on the Twitch channel. What kind of content does your channel have?
For the most part, dummy, one of our main things is like the game I'm streaming right now, which is Elite Dangerous, is a space flight simulator that I've always had the most fun flying around being a complete idiot. Um, like right now, I'm flying in an asteroid field. How fun is that? Um, but when it comes to everything else, we pretty much do everything. We do anything like my partner does art, um, as well as she's been playing Inscription recently.
Hey,
She thought
Wick,
it
how
was
you
a
doing,
really
bud?
cool and interesting game that she wanted to get into. So that's one of the major things that we've been doing is just finding a game that we really like and playing it.
Okay, okay. So you guys kind of jump between different like games all the time and different stuff. But she sometimes draws on stream too.
Yes, she does. Whenever she gets the opportunity and away from the kids mostly.
Oh, the kids. How old are the kids? How many kids?
Well, we have two right now. Our oldest is going on two here shortly, I believe in a month or two, well, 2 months, fully. And then our youngest is 11 months, um, almost turning one now, actually. Oh, God, has it almost been a year?
Good gravy, the fun ages. My gosh. Let's see here. So she does art sometimes on stream. You play games. You say that we're playing Elite Dangerous now. What other games do you play?
I've been very partial to simulator games as well as strategy. I've always been a fan of old or older strategy games, aka Warcraft 3. uh, StarCraft 1 and 2, Age of Empires 1, 2, and 3. Some of the older strategy games, I'm actually very partial to Warhammer 40K and their strategy games, mostly the Dawn of War series. Um, I'm very, very partial to 40K, actually. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to them. I feel goofy talking about it.
No, there's
Um,
nothing goofy about it. That's cool. So, strategy games, though, you focus a lot on them. I mean, Elite Dangerous, that's kind of a different category, but it sounds like you're really passionate about strategy games.
I am strategy as well as simulators mostly are my main focus. Um, they kind of unwind me at the end of the day or when I'm, feeling stressed. It feels better to immerse myself into a new universe or new thought process than the one I've been using all day.
Okay, so you're hunting for that immersion. You want something that's gonna take all of your brain power and your focus away from other things for a little while you're gaming.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, okay. What is it about those types of games that helps you to do that? Like, what is it about it like about those types of games that draws you to that?
Well, while I was growing up as at least as a kid, one of the major things that were always was always a problem for me was to focus. I had child ADHD, um, and as growing up in a family that was very overachieving, having lack of focus was usually a bad thing, or at least a bad sentiment or thought process. So having a video game where I could immerse myself completely and focus all of the attention that all that hyperactive, overstimulated mind could go straight into all at once and stay there for a long period of time. Um, Usually, kept me out of doing more stupid things, um, and also, keep me focused on, hey, if I do good in school, I can continue to play these games. So it was always a plus there.
Okay, so early on, like reward to playing games and then focusing in games is like a pleasurable, fun experience. I've always kind of felt that playing games, you learn how to focus, you learn a lot of skills. Like kids learn a lot of math and they learn a lot of reading just by playing games too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Um, it's one thing that I early on I was very bad at reading, and believe it or not, the old-fashioned Game Boy Pokemon games, like the old Game Boy Color, um, one of the major things was that they didn't have a voiceover for any of the audio or any of the speaking, so you had to read all of it. Um, and it actually, I account most of my learning at an early age for at least learning how to read and keeping up with reading, to actually Pokemon, to be honest, as strange as that sounds.
I think that's probably a lot more common than a lot of people expect. I think that there's a lot of people out there that learned a lot of things from video games, especially in our generation.
Mm,
Interesting.
overshot that. Damn it.
So tell me a little bit more about your stream. Like what? So we kind of talked about the kinds of games that you play and the things that you do. I mean, it from the look of it, you are a VTuber. It looks like. Do you have a real face, or are you actually like? Looks like you're a fox.
Um, I mean, yes, I am a real person, but I'm actually not a VTuber. That's they're kind of branched together. The type of, I guess you could call it VTubing, but there's an actual term for it. It's a PNG, not just a animated person. Um,
Okay.
it is a static 2D image that is altered based on a set of rules. Like with audio, it has to meet a certain threshold for the audio to initiate another image that allows it to speak, or at least look like it's speaking. Um, like when I stop speaking, it obviously closes its mouth. It's set on an algorithm that'll allow it to blink occasionally, and even while I'm talking, it will blink occasionally, based on certain criteria that it meets. But it's a very simple VTube, it or a VTuber. It's very inexpensive, at least for a starting point, because as
Okay.
a VTuber, you actually have to get, if you want to get the full package, you actually have to get a 3D model or a 2D model and have it rigged, set up with a set of wire mesh system on the outside, much like a, what is it called? A VR headset, like a character in VR. It's much the same sequence for having it interact and move around, and in most cases, you see females having their butts jiggle around everywhere. That they actually have a wire mesh or a mesh system over the actual image to allow it to move more
Hold on. You
realistically.
went all over the place here. So you're telling me that like whenever I see like a VTuber person, like I was talking to my buddy Doobie the other day, and he's a some sort of virtual reality frog demon king. He's wearing like some sort of like virtual reality headset or something when he's talking to me. He doesn't sound like
No,
it.
it's well, just because someone is using a uh PNG or even a VTuber skin, that doesn't mean they're a different person. They act as their persona or a fursona or whatever you want to call it. Um, they are being true to themselves in their own way, but they are using a program that allows them to act, or at least be anonymous, to be more open, more free, or act out in a as my Fox character, um, in the way that he would act, how I would feel more comfortable acting through him.
I was asking more like on the technological side, and I feel like we're getting into like the
Mm,
social and identity side, and I do want to ask you more about that. But like, I'm more curious with like, so did you set this program up? Did you make these pictures? Like, how much of this did you create? And then I guess you just kind of threw me with the whole like VTuber thing that like, wait, there's some sort of an input device that they're using that's like making them move the way that like they're moving and doing the things that they're doing. But more specifically, I do want to talk about like the way that your stuff is set up. Did you create this program? Are these
mm.
your drawings or maybe your wife's drawings?
These are my wife's drawings of my character. I did not set up the, or at least make the program. Um, a friend of mine actually discovered the program and shared it to me. And at the time, it was free, or at least, asking for donations for the program. I can actually share the program with you, just so that, you could have it on your Discord to, for those people that are interested in it.
Yeah,
Um,
actually, if you want to share
but
a link to
yeah.
that in my Discord, I'll put a link to my Discord here in my chat. And if anybody wants to come and check that out, and of course, there's links to Volp's Den's Twitch stream in there as well. So swing by the Discord and check out pretty much anything that we talk about today. Sorry, I didn't mean to step all over you,
Always a
but so
fan.
someone discovered this program and then shared the program with you, and you've kind of gotten it configured and set up with your own art assets and everything in it?
Correct. The program itself, at least at the time of when I got it, it was free. Um, and I set it up with the pictures that my wife drew. Um, that I'm in love with her art style all the time. So every time I see her draw my characters, I'm always gushing over it. But Yeah, it's just a program that allows me to input my images or her images and set criteria for it. Um, and again, for anyone who's interested, I'll share a link because I think that, PNG or VTubing is probably one of the most freeing things that someone can do if they're streaming and don't really want to have that anonymity.
Yeah, okay. Let's talk a little bit more about that. I do want to ask about the character that you've chosen specifically and why you've chosen to use a character rather than like using your own identity, if that's something that you're willing to explore with us a little bit more. Like we can
Oh,
go
by
either of
all
the
means.
directions. Do you want to talk about your character specifically and who they are and why they look the way that they do, and or do you want to talk more about like the reason that you've made the choice to go down this route, and we can come back to the other one later?
I mean, either way, I'm good. I could certainly talk about my character all day, every day. So, why don't we start with that?
Sure, yeah.
My, if anyone can see, or as
Yeah,
they
I've got you
can
full
see,
screen up, yeah.
my character is a fox. Um, my fox character is named Rye Fox. It's actually a slightly um, pronounced a lot like rye bread, just with an A in the front of it. Um, and he is a character that I came up with when I was probably about 16. I got really big into the furry community at that time
Uh-oh.
because I was still searching for my own identity.
Okay.
Um, at that time, Rye Fox is a character that, while I had that overactive imagination and mentality, having child ADHD, came up with this massive story about who he is, his background, his friends, his family, how he is, why he looks a certain way he is. Um,
Oh, so this is like a
like I said,
fully
I could
100% developed character, like with a backstory and all sorts of things, then.
you will actually find that a lot in like VTubers or PNG tubers, is that they have invested a lot of time and mental capacity into their character, into who they see, who they want to be on screen. Um, is
And
very much, yeah.
you've you say you started developing this character very young. How much of like this character is part of your identity? Like, is this who you actually are, or is this only who you are when you're online, or like how does this work? This is very intriguing to me.
This is very much how I see myself. I'm very much an introverted person. I like to be in my house alone, or at least with the family and kids, and not want to interact socially with most people. Um, and it's just how I like to interact. It's that I get very invested in other people very quickly. So if I can step back and, have a over the shoulder view, I guess you could say, my character Rye allows me to have that over the shoulder third person view through this character. I guess is the best way for me to describe it. I don't know if that makes much sense to other people. Um,
I think I follow.
but he allows me to view the world in a different way. Um, allows me to not only see the world through like the lenses of myself, but also through his eyes, which is a very fascinating experience sometimes, where I'll actually catch myself thinking, "Hey, this person acts just like this character I thought up of long, long ago." And then it starts to just come together and meld. Yeah, too close to that meter.
So it like gives you permission to see things differently and to act a little bit differently and do things a little bit differently.
Yeah, definitely.
Very interesting. Very interesting. And so you've got this long, extensive backstory for this character that is essentially like a secondary persona that you adopt sometimes, and particularly when you're online, when you're streaming and things like that.
Yes, very much so. I
Very
like to do
interesting.
so in stream, mostly because streaming is a very extroverted activity. At least from my point of view, you have to be very much a people person. And a lot of times I get cold feet when it comes to meeting new people or interacting with people. So having that, I guess you could say, mask allows me to be more open with new people, be more goofy than would normally come out of my own mouth, or do different things like just deciding, hey, I want to just run into this other ship. I wouldn't normally do that because I see the ship as an expensive item in the game, but being having a mask allows me to just say, hey, why not?
Okay, so it's almost kind of like a role play sort of a thing, like, but obviously a lot more serious than just some like temporary character for a game or something.
Oh yeah.
Very interesting.
Uh,
Very interesting. And your wife also streams. Does she have a character also?
yes, she does. Her character is named Artemisia, or Artie. Um, Article is her bird character, Ara Cochrane. Sorry, Phoenix Ara Cochrane. I can actually pull her up on stream if you want to take a look at what she looks like.
By
It'll
all
just
means,
take
this
the place
is.
of my fox, basically.
By all means, I mean this is your time and your spot, and that's your screen over there, so you can do whatever you'd like to it. Um,
Well, let's see.
does she have an equally like rich and depth backstory to the character that you use? Oh, okay.
This is her. She uses the same program as myself.
Oh,
As you can see, she does far more interaction than my character Rai does.
she has the
Um,
same voice though.
yes, that's because it's me. Um, but we do use the same program, and it's just basically an overlay, or a just an extra screen on a screen.
Very interesting. And I'm sorry to go back. You said that she does have a backstory similar to your character and everything else.
Yes, she does. Me and her, or her and I guess I should say, proper English, um, have actually been working on a story ourselves based on characters. Through a process of role playing between each other, we are allowed to flesh out these characters far more than what I imagine others could.
So are we
So
writing a
her
book?
character, me and her, yeah, yes, we are.
Okay, okay, cool, awesome.
I We started off as a simple role play together, but then it kind of bloomed into everything else, like a relationship and everything like that.
Oh,
Um,
okay,
but her
cool.
character has very much, as much or even more history and more in-depth detail than my own character. Um,
Has she been writing her
Being an artist, she
character?
has.
Has she been writing her character for as long as you have? Like you mentioned that you started this when you were like really young. Did she do the same?
No, not that I'm aware of. At least article came about from my memory of us playing D&D together, actually.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
the Ara Cochrans are a species in D&D, and she created
Okay,
her
cool.
character as a songbird, Phoenix songbird, and we kind of just flushed it into our actual story. Um, and I just love her character. She's so just pretty. Um, I guess she is a songbird after all. She's gonna be beautiful.
So your character in your story like was involved in the way that you met your wife?
Um, Not entirely.
Okay.
Um,
I
Through the
thought that you'd said
process
that.
of roleplay, I actually met her through online.
Okay.
Um, and we started role playing together. These characters have come about through that role play and have met each other in this role play together,
Okay.
and have a history and a relationship and so on.
Interesting. So does your role play like the story relationship mirror your real life relationship closely, or like do we have like exciting fantastic like different things that aren't necessarily based in like real events? Does that
Most
make
are not
sense?
based in real events. No,
Okay.
I totally understand what you're going for. Most are not actually based in real events. They're too fantastical to be realistic. Our story is a mashup of our interests, of our beliefs, of our relationship. Everything that we like and who we are is thrown into this story, making it
How interesting.
feel more alive than most other stories I've ever encountered.
How incredible. How incredible. Are you planning to publish this like work when you finish it? Do you have any of it like available now? Like do the people that watch your stream know this about you?
Most are starting to understand this about us, but we do have plans to eventually publish this story. It is still an ongoing process. And I believe my wife article has at least a portion of the beginning of it. It's very much a rough draft, first rough draft. Um, but we could certainly find it again because it's buried in our backlog of information. We could certainly find so and have it published for, or at least shown on Discord if you want. It's up to you. This is your Discord after all.
Yeah, by all means. I mean, if you're willing to share it like free of charge, I thought that this was going to be behind like a Patreon paywall or something like that. But no, this sounds extremely interesting, and I mean, it sounds like it's an important part of your characters on Twitch. Like, I would definitely suggest you freaking read it out loud on Twitch to your viewers. Man, oh man, this sounds incredible to me.
Through our channels and actually through Twitter, um, my wife has started flushing out the story with, or at least sharing it more with our community. Um,
Awesome, good.
and it's actually quite fantastic to see how people are actually interacting or enjoying the story, which makes me feel good because it's like what's that comedian Randy Feltface,
Yeah, I've seen
one of
those.
my favorite Australian comedians, um, that you're always
Still not
afraid that it's going to be a really
following.
cruddy story, and you don't know it until it's out there. If people are gonna like it, or if you've
Hey, Black
ran
Yamato,
into
thanks for
a
coming by, bud.
To Kill a Mockingbird, level story.
Okay, okay. No, I mean, that's exciting, and I mean, I feel like, how to say, content, everybody wants more content nowadays, and new and original content is in even higher demand. I feel like everything is a rehash of something else and a rehash of something else. So I really do feel like, and it sounds like you've put a lot of your heart and your soul and like attention and love into this thing that you guys are making. And golly, I can't imagine that people wouldn't want to see that people wouldn't want to hear that. And I mean, Crazy me, I'm sitting here like picturing live action actors acting these things out or drawings of things, and there's so many talented people out there that do animation, that do artwork, that do things like that, that man, wouldn't it be neat if you could make something like that and share it with everybody?
It is great to see people interacting or at least falling in love with the story. And I have noticed, especially recently, more people are craving backstory, craving news stories, craving lore, especially after um, the pandemic hit. Everyone's craving more and more interesting, different stories. Um, they want to experience new things, and I can't fault them for that, to be honest.
Yeah. G Willikers. G Willikers sounds so extremely interesting. So it started as like a D&D campaign, and then it became like role playing, and now it's like it sounds like a metaphor for like your personal identities and your relationship and your goals and your values and like everything all wrapped up into one.
Pretty much. That's how I at least see it. I know my wife, whenever we hit a certain patch or a certain section in the story, she just looks at me and says, "Hold on, I need to draw this."
Oh,
Where it
cool.
just captures so clearly in her mind, or a character so clearly in her head that she just has to draw this character. Um, and it's so fascinating to watch that part.
So now we've got there's artwork. Yeah, I guess there would be artwork incorporated. So we've got illustrations, we've got narrative storytelling, we've got character. Holy heck! Holy heck! And how much of this do you guys have like organized and collected?
We have a total of, well, overall, it's almost 8 years worth of just text. I know that sounds insane, and it really is just thinking about it.
Wait, eight
Um,
years worth of text? How many? How much text is that? Like, thousand monkeys with
um,
typewriters?
Pretty much. Um, each
Holy heck!
character in the story actually
Holy
goes
heck!
through
8 years.
their own process, and it usually takes us about a day of just messaging back and forth to hash out how a character acts, how that character interacts with other characters, where they live, what they do, how they would act in said scenario of the world they're in at the moment. Because the world is just like our own, it goes through patterns of war, of strife, of, drama. Um, so it's, each character has their own goals set and whole mentality, that when you're actually role playing into it, you actually get sucked in. And again, this is just me being hyperactive ADHD idiot over here. Um, where you get sucked into this character, you start to feel almost what this character's feeling.
Okay. But how much of this is stuff that has happened like in role play or in a game or like conceptually versus how much of this have you guys actually like putting down pen to paper and like and made a thing with? Or is it all
Um,
just like an ongoing like campaign kind of a thing?
it's definitely still an ongoing thing. We actually have only set this beginning actually physically on pen and paper.
Okay.
The rest is
Okay.
all through actually message between ourselves, um, where we have actually just
Okay.
interacted through these characters.
Sounds like maybe we need a ghostwriter in the mix. Someone to like
Yeah,
read all
definitely.
of the message history back and forth and then like I want to say like collate it all into a story or organize it all into like a story. Maybe? Am I
That is
misinterpreting?
that is no, 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 no. You're actually not wrong. We actually have one of our friends, one of Misamu's or Article's friends, that is an actual writer, that has actually put down several publications already,
Oh, awesome.
and they have definitely actually already looked at the story to actually tell us, hey, this is what you should put down, this is what you shouldn't, or you should change wording here or there.
Oh,
Um,
okay, cool.
and has definitely helped us begin this process because they are the ones that actually said, "Hey, you should definitely make this a story, or at least try to publish this because they are so fascinated by the story themselves."
How very interesting. So let's do a brief recap for people that might have just been joining us. Um, can I get you? Give me your name again.
My name, at least, is Rye Fox. I am one of the main. I am the main streamer on Vulpes Den Twitch channel.
Okay, let me drop a link again in chat here. And what kind of content do you do there? And what are we talking about with this story? What have we discussed so far?
Well, as of right now, we are a variety channel. We like to stream pretty much everything and anything that catches our fancy. Like right now, being playing this space flight simulator game that I love so much called Elite Dangerous. As of right now, you and I have been really much chatting about uh, being a VTuber or PNG tuber in my case, and how it correlates to myself and how I enjoy streaming, as well as a story that me and my wife, who is the co-host of our channel, um, how we have blossomed this massive story that we hope to actually process into a publication.
How very exciting. How very exciting. So, how long have you guys been streaming for? How long have you guys been married for? Were you streaming before you got married, or did you start streaming together? Like, how did that go?
I have actually been streaming longer than I've known my wife. At the early times, I was actually streaming on an older platform called Mixer.
Oh, wow.
Um, and Mixer was the Xbox or Microsoft equivalent of Twitch.
Right.
They unfortunately closed down and moved their all of their information over to Facebook Gaming. I did not really want to move over to Facebook Gaming, so we stayed here on Twitch and started growing our community again.
Nice.
Um, but I have known my wife for, I know it's bad for me to say it, but I think it's about 8 years. Um, and we have been married about 6 of those years.
Oh, my goodness.
Um,
Okay. So, knew each other, dated each other for 2 years, and then been married for six. Well, I guess two kids. I mean, you better have been married for a little while.
oh yes, we had actually been. It's actually been a very fascinating story in and of itself. I actually met her online through Facebook.
That's neat.
Asked for a commission of her because I was saying, "Hey, why not? I want to get artwork done of my character." Um,
Wait, a
and so
commission
we just
of
started
her?
chatting.
A commission of her, or a commission of your character from her?
A character, one of my characters, commissioned from her.
Oh, okay, that would have been pretty bold. Hey, draw me a picture of you. Make it real sexy. I can see it now. I'm gonna use that pickup line. Gee willikers.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Um,
Only if you let
but
it be.
yes, that's um, I we just started chatting, and for the longest time we were just friends, and I decided, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go be bold and actually drove out to meet her and ask her to be my, girlfriend at the time. And she said yes. I mean, I drove almost 500 miles just to ask her, "Will you be my girlfriend?" Um, in hoping that she would say yes
Good
and
gravy.
not make an awkward drive back.
Good gravy. How bold. How bold, my friend. That's awesome. How long had you known each other at that point?
We had known each other, oh, I would say almost a year at that point.
Oh, okay.
Um, just as friends, chatting, talking, constantly saying hi, good morning, whatnot. Um,
Oh, okay.
but then, yeah, I just decided, hey, I really want to try and make things work with this woman. Why not?
Okay, so it sounds like you were kind of in a like a long distance, internet only kind of a relationship, and then you took this major plunge and took a risk, and here we go.
Pretty much. That's how everything worked.
How awesome! How awesome! How exciting! How long of a drive you said? You like 8 hours?
It was almost 500 miles, almost about 8 hours drive
Good
each
gravy.
way.
Good gravy. Yeah, what a risk. What a risk. But obviously it paid out, worked out perfectly in the end.
Oh yes, most definitely. I like to think so, at least. I'm probably one of the happiest foxes there is at the moment.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, gee willikers, I'm just about out of questions, I think. Unless there's anything else that you can think of that you'd like to share with everybody.
The only thing that I think I would share with anyone who, let's say, wants to get into PNG tubing or V tubing or streaming in general
Yeah.
is just go bold, be brave. The old meme of God, I can't remember his name now. I just had it at the tip of my tongue. Just do it. Simple as that. Just do it. Um, you never know until you try, and streaming is probably one of the most fun and entertaining things you, at least from my opinion, you can do because you're playing games and you're talking to people. You're enjoying yourself. Why not?
I love it. I love it. And you said you're going to share a link in my Discord with some information on how to like do PNG tubing or V tubing or some a link to the program that you use or something you said?
I will share the link to the program. It's a very simple program if you just play through it. Uh, it should still be free. I can't speak for it because I haven't looked right away, but I can still share the program so that people can access it, or at least know what it is. Um, when it comes to that, just like I said, when it comes to streaming, be bold, be out there.
I appreciate it. Like I say, if you can give me a couple taps of a little information with it when you put it in the Discord, I am kind of a dummy sometimes. But yeah, if you in the community want to hop on the Discord, I'm going to drop a link in chat here so that you can go see that, look into how to do some of this. I think I'm going to play with it a little bit because it does look like an interesting tool or at least something fun to play with. But Volp's Den, Rye Fox, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to drop another link to your Twitch stream, but go and check him out. He plays a lot of really fun games. Really great guy. Thank you so much for joining me tonight and doing a little interview with me. I hope that it was good for you. It was great for me. And you folks out there in chat, I want to talk to you guys next too. So please hop in the Discord, drop me a line on open mic if you guys like to be interviewed or have some questions that you want to talk about, or want to stand on a soapbox and tell the world something that you think that they all need to know. Let me know. But again, Rye Fox, thank you again for coming out, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. You too. I appreciate all the questions.
Sorry, I needed to dump some links. But yeah, no, thank you again. And again, I look forward to seeing you on stream here on Twitch very soon. And take good care of yourself, bud. And to all the rest of you guys out there, you guys have a great night too. Thank you again for coming by and checking us out tonight. Bye, folks.